Recipes 27 and 28 were also used during the Koopa side quest, so you've probably already made these already if you had done that, but let us start with the first one. Recipe 27, Koopa Pasta. It is going to require a Koopa leaf and dried pasta. Dried pasta you'll be able to get from the Dry Outpost. Koopa leaf you can get from Koopa Village itself by rattling some bushes, and that ultimately gives you an item that has a 7 HP and 7 FP recovery. A lot of these only have one particular combination in order to put together in order to make, and that would happen to be what this Koopa Pasta is. This weird spaghetti-like stuff with green goop on top of it. Keeping with the Koopa theme, if you just happen to have yourself a singular Koopa leaf on hand and you handed that off to her without needing to combine anything, she'll be able to use that in order to make the Koopa Tea, a drink that recovers 7 FP. I mean, it's easier just to go buy the pasta and combine it with it so you have 7 and 7, but if you want something that just does any type of FP recovery, Koopa Tea is just fine. It looks nice, it looks fancy, it looks very elegant. I'm going to switch things around a little bit for these next 3. It's not going to be completely alphabetical, but I want to keep similar items together just so you guys know. First things first, why don't we go ahead and throw together some items that we can find out in the dry desert, specifically the oasis. Remember, smashing the trees gets you a lemon, or smashing the other one will get you a lime. And we've actually put both of these together, whether you want to give it to the anti-guy or you want to give it to Koopa Coot. First, we will go ahead and hand off a lemon to Miss Tayce, and then any good lemon deserves a bit of cake mix to go around it to form a fancy piece of lemon candy that recovers 5 HP and 15 FP for Mario. I don't know where she gets all these wrappers from, but hey, you know what? I guess it's all about the presentation. Now for the other fruit that you can find in the dry oasis, you want to go ahead and give Tayce the lime, which would be in the other tree, as well as another thing of our good old-fashioned cake mix. This stuff is used for everything. You're going to be back and forth in that toy box if you really want to make everything. I'm pretty sure I said that before, but just driving home the point. The lime candy will give you a 20 FP recovery. Kind of wish you gave me some HP with that. Maybe a reverse, like 15 HP, 5 FP, instead of the lemon, which was 5 HP, 15 MP, but whatever, doesn't matter. She has a nice green wrapper that swung around it. Yeah, if I was going alphabetical, this next recipe should actually fall between lemon and lime, but I wanted to keep those two together. You can actually give Tayce items for her to give you a life shroom, which is a shroom that pretty much brings Mario back from the dead, recovers him to 10 HP when his HP falls to 0. You can use a super shroom plus a Koopa leaf, or, well, let's just do it this way. Koopa leaf plus either a super shroom, volt shroom, ultra shroom, or life shroom will work. Goom Nut plus one of those 4 will work, or a strange leaf plus a super shroom, ultra shroom, or life shroom will work. So there's a lot of combinations you can throw together to make a life shroom. Why you would use an item, like why would you use a life shroom to make a life shroom? I don't really know. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I would probably stay away from that, but anything else is pretty good. The Koopa leaves you can find very easily in Koopa Village, plus, you know, there's so many enemies that drop super shrooms all over the place, so you'll be able to probably make a few free life shrooms if you want. Then again, you can also just buy them outright, and at the end of the game, coins come fairly easily, but yeah, there you go. Recipe 30, but we're on 31, it doesn't matter. So we did all the honey syrups, we did all the jam and jellies, now it's time to do the maple syrup combinations. First things first, let's go ahead and give her our maple syrup, and we will give her a standard mushroom. Combining those together, of course, makes the maple shroom, something that gives you 5 HP and 10 FP recovery. So pretty much these next 3 are all going to be 10 FP recovery plus whatever it is the mushroom happens to give you naturally. So there you go. The more logical combination comes with these. You're going to give her the maple syrup, of course, that gives 10 FP, and its 10 FP counterpart, the Super Shroom. I use these quite a bit in my Let's Play just because they're pretty easy to get my hands on and whatnot. A lot of things drop the maple syrups, and Super Shrooms you can find all over the place. So it's a pretty good combination for a good majority of the game. 10 and 10 can really turn the tides in battle. as far as being completely wasteful is concerned, using your Ultra Shroom for anything other than mixing it with an Ultra Jelly is just complete craziness. But for the sake of this video, of course, I'm going to throw it together. 1 maple syrup plus 1 Ultra Shroom creates for us a maple ultra, thus giving us 50 HP recovery and 10 FP, which I guess wouldn't be so bad if you don't really use FP that much, so this way you want something that at least increases your health more, but I don't know, I like kind of using my special abilities just as much as anything else. Recipe 35, according to the game, doesn't count towards the final number, but I'm going to count it anyway because it is something that she can produce. You see how I'm combining everything with her in specific combinations and everything? Anything that does not appear on this list at all from beginning to the end of this video will give you the mistake. And that could be any 1 item, any 2 items, anything like that. I'm going to have her cook a stone cat because I think it's funny. So anything like that that you give her, I'm going to give her the maple shroom just because I can as well. So things like this, she's going to go ahead and she's going to do her best in order to slap them together. But in the long run, she is going to give you a very, very odd looking thing. Ugh. Recipe 36 is something that I made for Koopa Coot, as well as occasionally here and there throughout the course of the game. You will need to get yourself a Goom Nut from outside of Goombario's house, and just give that to her. In fact, if you grab that right when you met Goombario and brought it to her, you'll be able to make this immediately. The Goom Nut produces the Nutty Cake. It recovers 10 FP from Mario. Just requires the Goom Nut to make, so it's a single item thing. No problem if you don't have the cookbook. So it's really not that bad, especially for early in the game. It's like almost a free Super Shroom that you can just keep getting over and over again. So spending a night at the Toad House up in Shiver City grants you a kind of thank you for sleeping at our place reward, and that would be the iced potato. Using that to give to Tayce just as is will give you the potato salad. So she goes and thaws it out and chops it up. It recovers 10 HP, so it's kind of another free thingy. I said HP for the Goom Nut. I was wrong, that was FP. I apologize. But this one is actually the HP for you. So one of them gives you 10 FP, the other gives you 10 HP. Recipe 38 is another sweet delight that Miss Tayce can put together for you. First things first, we're going to want to give her the cake mix, and then we're going to want to give her a regular old mushroom. And for this, she will put together the Shroom Cake, a tasty treat that recovers 10 HP and 10 FP. So just another one of her cake combinations. As you can see, a lot of these HP and FP combination things are pretty much the same as you go along. Either 5, 10, or pretty extreme, but that's not a bad looking piece. I really hope that that mushroom on top is made out of candy and not a real purple mushroom, because if you know anything for the Mario series, purple mushrooms equal poison. Recipe 39 is something that I mentioned earlier, the Shroom Steak. There's 2 different ways you can make this. You can either give her an Ultra Shroom by itself, which I have to say, why? Don't waste an Ultra Shroom like that because of the results that you get from this. But the second way, which I'm going to do, is a little bit easier because I am able to give her a regular old mushroom as well as a life shroom. Now, why would I give away my life shroom? Well, I can buy these, and it's really not that hard to get money and whatnot. So definitely, if you want to go ahead and make a Shroom Steak, you can buy the life shroom and give her a regular shroom. It's just as easy. And it'll give you an item that recovers 30 HP and 10 FP. Not too bad. I wish it was a little bit more FP, but you know what? This steak, look at that. Look at that yummy steak. Recipe 40, an item that you can buy right here in Toad Town, so I guess there's really no reason for you to make this, but if you want to, go for it. You can use a strange leaf and combine that with any one of the 3 colored berries from Flowered Fields. Red berry, yellow berry, or blueberry, not the bubble berry. So it's one of those 3. Putting those together will have Tayce make for you a sleepy sheep, and it makes weak enemies go to sleep. So we've used that, we've seen that, we've gotten plenty of them throughout our journeys, and now Tayce can apparently put them together, because the strange leaf and all these berries apparently have, sleeping effects to them. But hey, whatever, there you go. The unique item of the Dry Outpost, the dried pasta, will give you a 3 HP or 2 FP boost if you use it in battle. However, if you happen to give the dried pasta to Tayce and had her cook it by itself, you will get the spaghetti, which effectively doubles its ability. So you'd be able to get a 6 HP recovery along with a 4 FP recovery. So it's just something to think about if you want to go ahead and stock up with some very interesting items. Taking any of Tayce's unique items to Lava Lava Island and giving it to the yellow Yoshi will cause it to say, yummy, 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 here's a return item, the melon. That's the only way you can get a melon in this game, is by giving the yellow Yoshi any item that Tayce makes that's exclusive to her. You can then use that melon to give it right to Tayce, and she will cook you up the special shake, which is something I pointed out earlier in a previous recipe. This recovers 20 FP, so it's not a bad little magic recovery item of sorts. You can also use a combination of a melon plus an apple to make this, so I don't know why you would give 2 different items when just one works well and there's no difference in the effect, but there you go, a smoothie made by Tayce using the melon. Being that we're on a trend of just giving Tayce items by themselves, why don't we go ahead and use one of my favorite items in the game, the Fire Flower. Yes, you can buy this and give this to her as a standalone item, and she will make a unique item for you. So, taking that into the back creates the Spicy Soup. It recovers 4 HP and 4 FP, so if you're able to grab a Fire Flower early in the game, you can actually make an okay healing item, considering for probably the first few chapters, your HP won't hit like 20 or so. So 4 and 4 is, for a very early game, I'd say sure. It's the Spicy Soup. Recipe 44. It's a strange one indeed. You're going to need to go to the Boo's Mansion in order to get the strange leaf that is outside of the big house, the mansion, and you are going to combine that with your cake mix in order to create the strange cake. This is an item that makes Mario electrified, invisible, or sleepy. Remember the cookie, the cookie that pretty much did the same thing but healed us? Well, we just don't get any of the healing with it, but we still get the chance of either being electrified, invisible, or sleep because of this particular strange cake. That doesn't even look like a cake! Recipe 45 has a lot of combinations to it. The ultimate thing that you're going to be making is the Super Soda that recovers 5 FP and cures poison and shrinking. You can buy this in a lot of places, or a lot of enemies drop it. Now, the items that are used in order to make a Super Soda are, whole lot of different ways in order to make a fairly useless item. But in my case, I am just going to give her a maple syrup and call it a day. Like, there's a lot that goes into making that stupid, I chose no, I'm sorry. There's a lot going into making that, like, kind of useless-ish item. There we go. Use this. Go ahead, go and add some fizz to it, apparently is what you're going to do, and she's going to come back with the Super Soda. I don't know why it takes so many combinations. Like, what's the purpose of this particular item? It's not even that good. There's better brands out there than Yellow Line Soda. So we've combined together a cake mix and a regular mushroom. Why don't we jump it up a notch, per se? We're going to go all the way to the other end. But instead of an Ultra Shroom, we're going to use a Life Shroom. You can use an Ultra Shroom. So in this particular recipe, you can use the cake mix plus either an Ultra Shroom or a Life Shroom to create a Sweet Shroom. I would definitely recommend the Life Shroom because you can go and buy more of them. Of course, Ultra Shrooms are harder to come by. And the Sweet Shroom will recover 30 HP and 20 FP. So rather than doing 50 of any one stat, it's a pretty interesting breakup that way. Plus, it doesn't really look that bad. Kind of like a tiramisu mushroom cake, if I do say so myself. Like the Super Soda, this particular recipe has a lot of very random combinations to it, but I'm going to use just kind of one out of my inventory. To make the tasty tonic, which you can buy right here in Toad Town, that cures poison and shrinking, you can combine together honey syrup with any one of the 3 colored berries, an apple, a lime, a lemon, or a coconut, or you can just use a lime or a lemon by itself, a coconut by itself, or, what I'm going to use in this particular run-through, the bubbleberry by itself. I mean, it's just a singular item that you can find over in Flower Fields. We only use it for one thing, and I don't think it really has much of a use otherwise, and it doesn't really go too well with combining with other things apparently. But if you want to just hand that over to her and see what you make the Tasty Tonic. Interested in another attack style item that Tasty can make? Well then, my friends, you want to give her a combination of a dried fruit, which you get from the Pokies out in the dry desert, as well as a Shroom that you can buy in town. This is the only combination that will go and make for you a Thunder Rage, and add an item that damages all enemies for 5 HP. Something, again, I think you can buy later, but you find them every so often, but you can't hurt having a whole bunch of different attack items and everything. So she kind of says something experiments turn out great. So yeah, it was kind of a random thing put together, and we get the Thunder Rage. Don't feel like buying your own Shroom? Well, my friends, you can make one for yourself. Recipe 49 calls for a dried fruit and any one of the basic mushrooms, regular mushroom, super shroom, ultra shroom, life shroom, or I think you can combine regular mushrooms with Koopa leaf, goom nuts, and strange leaves in order to create yourself the wondrous Shroom that we can buy in the stage right next to us, or the area right next to us, for a very, very cheap price anyway. So why don't we go ahead and give those to her. She can go ahead and mix things around and come back to us with a Shroom. Isn't that just glorious? Something that we can buy for a pretty cheap price. 2 more recipes to go. This one is the Yoshi Cookie, and you need that by combining a melon and a cake mix. Cake mix, of course, is in the Shy Guy toy box. Melon, I told you how to get before by trading any one of Tasty's recipes in order for to get a melon. This is an item that will be able to give you a 15 HP, 15 FP recovery, so it's really not so bad, but at the time that you're actually able to get melons, it's like 15 and 15 is meh. You can combine together better things in order to get a better HP, FP recovery rate. Besides, you still have to combine stuff together in order to be able to get the melon. But hey, it's a cool cookie and it looks like Yoshi, so have it to have it, right? Frame it, put it on the wall. Last recipe, recipe 51, though the game tells me it's 50 because apparently it doesn't count the mistake, is the Yummy Meal. You can make this by either giving her the Whack-A-Bump by itself. Don't do that because it actually lowers its abilities. The dried fruit plus pasta, which I'm going to do right now, the dried pasta, and the dried fruit plus an ice potato. So any one of those combinations will yield the Yummy Meal, which is a recovery of 20 HP and 20 FP. That's why I said don't give her the Whack-A-Bump, because the Whack-A-Bump is 25 and 25, so it'll just kind of bring it down, per se. And it is pretty much just a recoloration of the same style meal things that we've been getting since the beginning of making all this stuff. So there you go. It's a white one with a little straw sticking out of it, and a cute Tasty's Tasty Food Cooked. Very nice. But that is it, everybody. That is all 50 recipes. I hope you guys learned something going through this. Maybe you guys found something out that you didn't know that you can make. Maybe now you can round out your list of things if you're playing it at home. If you haven't already, be sure to go and check out my full Let's Play of Paper Mario in the playlist provided somewhere on this screen. And thank you all for watching. Be sure to rate and comment down below, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you can get equipped with me, MetalBlade427. If this is the first video of mine you watch, I have a whole bunch of other Let's Plays on there, things that show you how to do stuff, information, and just a whole lot of fun all over my channel. So yes, get equipped with me, and I will catch you guys later.